Hey guys, thanks for joining us again today. You're watching the In Deep on the Delta Weekly Bass Report, and we're talking about the week of 12/10/2020. I'd like to start off by thanking all of you who have been sending me in your reports. It's really helping me to cross-reference what I've been doing out here and what the shops are telling me. Gives me a better idea of what's going on with the trends in the Delta. So please keep up the good work of sending me the information on what you're doing out here and what your success has been. Even if you're not having a great day out here, sometimes it's just as important to let me know what you're not catching them on. So whether you're getting them or not, I really enjoy reading the reports and seeing what the heck you guys are doing. So thank you very much and keep those coming. I'd also like to encourage everyone to send me their pictures of their big catch here on the Delta. Last week I told you I was going to put together a compilation of photos and of everyone's catch so you can brag a little bit about it. I will be accepting the photos through Christmas. You can send me your photo of your big catch here on the Delta, whether it's a striper, sturgeon, largemouth, whatever it may be. Send them to scooper9561032@gmail.com. Make sure you add your name, how big the fish was, and what you caught it on, and we'll put you in the video. It'll be coming out after the first of the year. So send me those big fish. We've got some real toads. I'll tell you, 2020 I think was a pretty good year for big fish on the Delta. So again, thanks for sending those, and keep them coming. So let's get right into the report. We've had a little wind this week, so the water clarity is kind of fluctuating. I have been seeing temperatures drop steadily. They're around 50, 51, maybe even 49 in the morning, and they're not creeping up to that 54, 55 degree during the middle of the day anymore. They're staying around 50 to 53. It's going to get slow. Sooner or later the Delta will hit the wall, and it hasn't hit the wall quite yet, but it's coming real close. Clarity, depending on the wind and the wave action, is up and down. The general clarity is still very clear for normal Delta conditions. In the backs of sloughs, I'm still seeing 8 to 10 feet visibility. Out by the channel, maybe 4 to 5, depending on wind activity. I hear that out at Frank's track, big break out there, it's crystal clear. We get a little wind, it'll mud up a little bit, and then as soon as the tide flushes it out, a couple of tide changes and it's back to being crystal clear. So conditions are actually pretty good out here. The weather is beautiful. The wind has helped the fishing, but it's either flat calm like we see right out here, or it's been blowing 15 miles an hour, 15, 20 miles an hour. So it's day to day, but definitely worth coming out and fishing. So we'll start off with the reports that I've got from Hook, Line, and Sinker and Outdoor Sportsman. So the report from Outdoor Sportsman is that the bass have been tough. There's been a few guys getting them, a largemouth bass, and they're throwing wacky worms and flukes, and that's about all I can tell you on that side. Stripers are holding even. It is slow. They're still throwing plugs. They're throwing S-wavers, big top waters, but it's slow. So if you're out after stripers, you can troll, you can throw plugs, you can fish live bait, but it's going to be slow. Hook, line, and sinker, pretty much the same thing. Bass, they've got a few guys that has said they've gotten some really good fish on underspins, and they're throwing a 4.8 Kitech. That's a bigger underspin. So the trend on that is bigger fish, bigger baits. Striped bass, they're saying keep on the move. It's slow. The fish are schooled up. If you're not catching anything, move around and see if you can find a school. And if you get lucky and get on a school, you catch some fish. Other than that, that has been the report from both Hook, Line, and Sinker out at Oakley and Outdoor Sportsman here in Stockton. We'll get into my portion of the report here, and for me, I've had actually a pretty good week. It's been slow, but the trend for me has been fewer fish, but bigger fish. So that's good. 2 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago, we were catching just 20, 30, 40 dinks a day, and really scratching to get, you know, a keeper here, keeper there, and maybe one 2.5 to 3 pound fish. For me, that's changed where I'm getting anywhere from 7 to maybe 10 fish, but most of those fish are solid fish, and given days I've been pulling everything from about 2.5 to up to 5.5, 6 pounds. So that's been really good. My number one go-to is still fishing man-made structures, whether it's docks, pipes, pilings, old boats, whatever it may be. For me, those fish have been the fish that have been biting. Okay, so my secondary run, which I've been catching fish on, is running banks. And what I can tell you for the banks is, if I am not catching them in 8 to 12 feet of water, I am catching them in 2 feet of water. Everything in between that, I just haven't had any luck. And I'm gonna pull up here in a minute, and we'll go over to this back bank here, and I'll show you exactly the kind of stuff that I've been fishing. Okay guys, so we're pulling up on a bank that has a little bit of everything. I'd like to talk about what I have been catching them on and what I haven't been catching them on. A bank, for instance, like what we have here, would be great for summertime fishing, and it just hasn't been paying off for me. If I'm fishing a bank like this, I'm staying out in about 8 to 10 feet of water where I can find an edge of hydrilla, and fishing on the outside. The midsection out here is just not paying off, and I've been throwing a lot of reaction baits, just not doing very well. Jerk baits, lipless, A-rigs when I can, and it's just not paying off fishing this midsection. I've got to be out in deeper water or super shallow. Now this is the key to the shallow water fishing. All of this die-off here, this brown stuff, most of that is the floating primrose. I'm not getting anything around the floating primrose. What I am finding is if I can punch way in the back where the tules are, now those are tules, they're not primrose. If I can get back in there, I'm picking up a few fish. I'm also looking for some of the hyacinth that's still growing, and on the other side of this primrose that's dead here, I'm going to show you what I've been catching fish in. Kind of new growth hyacinth here, and that's what I'm looking for. So my suggestion for fishing these areas, or if you're running banks, either punch way inside, and I'm talking about like right in where that patch of hyacinth is, and in tight. I'm getting a few fish in there. These are areas that I'm getting fish in, like this. You want to punch way in tight. Out here on the edges, throwing wacky stuff and drop shot. I'm not getting anything from the edge out to 6 feet. I'm getting it all punching way inside there. The fish aren't any better quality, it's just that's where they're showing up for me. When I've been fishing around the docks, the size has been really nice. It's on an uptick. As you can see, I'll put up a picture of my big fish that I got this week, and they're in great shape. They're fighting hard, and as you can see, I'm tucked in pretty tight here into the houseboat and docks, and that's where I've been getting my bigger fish. Okay guys, so that's the report for 12/10/2020. Final thoughts: if you're coming out this week, expect slow fishing, but the quality of fish will be better than what it has the last couple of weeks. If you're an experienced angler, I would suggest coming out and fishing your confidence baits. I have not done real well with reaction, but I've been on a different pattern, and when I am throwing crankbaits, lipless, and jerk baits, things of that nature, I'm probably not giving them as good a chance as I should be. So if that's your thing and you know the Delta, I would come out, make your milk run, throw your confidence baits, make sure you're moving from place to place. It seems like one bank will be on, one bank will be off. Move quickly but fish slowly. So that's for the experienced anglers out here. If you're new to the Delta or you're looking for a suggestion on just catching fish, my go-to would be heading to man-made structure, whether it's docks, pipes, pilings, little inlets that have boats in them, fishing that type of stuff. Those fish have been the easier fish for me to catch. If you're going to run a bank like that's in the background here, stay out at 8 or 10 feet of water and fish the lanes of hydrilla. That's been paying off, not as well as the docks have been, but I'm catching some nice fish out there. And I would also suggest, if you're going to punch way in deep. Make sure you're punching around clean hydrilla or hyacinth. Stay away from the dead stuff. And I think if you do that, you can come out here and have a pretty good day of fishing. The Delta has not slammed the door yet on its wintertime conditions, but it's coming up quickly. So get out and enjoy it while you can. Sooner or later, the weather's going to change, and we're going to be in total winter conditions. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in next week, and we'll see what's going on. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.